Go on, have a seat. Thank you. Mr. Tisdale.
You may be seated.
Yeah, you all have a seat. Thank you. Mr. Tisdale's present, all counsel present, jury's outside the courtroom. Just so you'll know, right before I came in, one of the jurors asked Yvonne if they could take a break about 3. Yeah, a break. So we'll stop about 3-ish for them to take a break. Okay, state ready to have the jury come back in?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Defense ready to have them come in?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Yvonne.
All stand, please.
Thank you all for bearing with us. We appreciate your patience. We're ready to press ahead. Miss Yvonne told me about y'all's break request, so we'll take care of that about 3 o'clock-ish. Give or take a minute or two, okay? Y'all would call, the state would call our next witness.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. At this time, the people of the state of Florida would call Clarence Bennett. Deputy, up here, please. Watch your step here.
Sir, for bearing with us.
Standing here facing the Madam Clerk, please raise your right hand and be sworn.
Do you swear upon the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Step right up there to your left. Watch your step, please.
And your step there. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Would you please introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Yes, Deputy Clarence Bennett, St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office.
Now, Deputy Bennett, I see you leaning forward, you're talking in the microphone. I know you to be very soft-spoken, so I'd ask that you continue to do that so that these folks can hear you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, sir, obviously you've told us that you're a deputy with the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office, is that right?
Yes.
How long have you been employed with the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office?
11.5 years.
And during those 11.5 years, can we assume that you've held various positions within the agency?
Yes.
And why don't you tell us what some of those positions have been?
I originally started out as a deputy at the jail. I did that for 3 years. From there I went to patrol. I did that for 6.5 years. And my current assignment is detective, where I've been so for about 2 years now.
Now, prior to coming to the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office 11 some odd years ago, do you have any other prior law enforcement experience?
No, I do not.
All right. Can you give us a brief description so the ladies and gentlemen of the jury get the understanding of your educational background, your training, and your experience?
Yes, I'm dual certified, and as in I'm certified in both corrections and law enforcement. I have over 600 plus hours of advanced training, to include classes such as field training officer, line supervision, depth investigations, interviews and interrogations, investigating child abuse crimes, and I also have a 4-year bachelor's degree, criminal justice from Florida Atlantic University. And I am also certified in CVSA, which is Computer Voice Stress Analysis exams.
Okay, now, as it relates to your duties, you've indicated that you're presently assigned to the Detective Bureau, right?
Yes, I am.
If I take you back to February 28th of 2013, what were your duties and responsibilities with the agency at that time?
I was a uniform patrol.
All right. Now, you mentioned something about an FTO or a field training officer.
Yes.
Tell that jury what that is. What's a field training officer?
A field training officer, the duties and responsibilities of a field training officer is to train incoming, I'm sorry.
Right. Stay with me now, Clarence.
Yeah.
Tell us what a field training officer is.
Okay. Okay. A field training officer's job is to train new deputies that come in that are hired by the agency. And
So in that capacity, as a field training officer, if we've got a new deputy, he would be riding with you, and you'd basically be showing him or her the ropes, if you will. Is that fair to say?
yes,
All right, so back in February of 2013, you were a field training officer.
yes, I was.
All right. That particular day, which we know to be a Thursday, were you working the morning of February 28th?
Yes, yes, I was.
Okay. And what shift were you working?
Day shift, C squad.
All right, and what is that? What's the day shift? Tell us what your hours would be, when you come in, when you go.
We start briefing at 6:30 in the morning, and at that point we're given any information as far as what's going on in our zones in our areas, and at that point we're assigned to work our zones.
Okay, what zone were you assigned to back in February 2013?
I was assigned to Zone 8.
And who was your supervisor? We know kind of how the hierarchy of the agency works. Who was your supervisor on that day?
Sergeant Gary Morales.
Okay, now were you aware that Sergeant Morales had gathered your group together to discuss basically an operational plan for that particular morning?
Yes.
All right, were you present for that meeting, or were you somewhere else when that initial meeting occurred?
When the initial meeting occurred, I was responding to a call that I was dispatched to.
Did you have an opportunity then, after responding to that call, to get with Sergeant Morales and discuss what his plan was for that particular morning?
Yes, yes I did.
All right, what area had you all discussed focusing your attentions on?
We call it Silver Lake Estates.
This is a residential area within St. Lucie County?
Yes, it is.
And were you aware of what some of the complaints had been relative to criminal activity and other things in that area?
Yes, yes I was.
Okay, we heard petty crimes, maybe some burglaries, some thefts, some vandalism, things of that nature. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, tell the jury what your understanding was as to how this, and I don't know that I get the term correct every time, but I guess this enhanced enforcement or this focused enforcement in the Silver Lake area was supposed to work. What were you supposed to do?
Basically, it was basically we were to be our normal duties, proactive patrol, which we can do if we're not responding to calls, which is what we're supposed to do. And the only difference in that day is we just had more units to do what we basically do every day. There was nothing different, just what we do every day with more people in the area.
Good police practice make your presence known in the area?
Yes, it is.
Okay. It gives you an opportunity to step out, talk to the citizens in the community, get to know people?
Yes, yes, it
And
does.
gather intelligence?
Yes.
All right. Now, that particular morning after you met with Sergeant Morales, did you have the occasion to make some traffic stops yourself out there in the area or assist?
No, I did not at the time.
Were you monitoring the radio traffic and the radio communications?
Yes, I was.
All right. Were you aware that other units in this group were making traffic stops in the Silver Lake area?
Yes.
All right, and did you assist some of them? Did you go in, or had you intended to go to do some backup to assist some of these other deputies?
Yes, I did.
Now, how would you become aware of the fact that, let's say I think Deputy Stubley will be a witness who will be testifying here. How would you be aware of the fact that Deputy Stubley was making a traffic stop?
By listening to the radio transmissions.
And if you're not on a traffic stop and a deputy's making a traffic stop, is it common practice that you will go and back that person up?
Yes, it is.
All right. Let's talk about that. Was there a point in time where you were going to proceed to back up? I believe it was Deputy Stubley who, at that time, was he in field training?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And did you become aware that Deputy Stubley had stepped out with a citizen on a traffic stop?
Yes. He had made a traffic stop while he was in field training.
I'll override objection if that's all there is to it.
Go ahead.
He was with Deputy Brigley at the time, who was his field training officer, while he was making the traffic stop.
So once you realized that he had another deputy in the car with him, did you decide or elect not to go back up that particular stop?
Yes, I did, and that was based off of I knew that Deputy Stubley had prior law enforcement experience, so it wasn't the same as somebody who just coming out of the academy who had no experience.
All right. As you were out then in the Silver Lake area at approximately 9:28 in the morning of the 28th, did you become aware of Sergeant Morales attempting to conduct a traffic stop in this area?
Yes, I was.
How did you learn about that?
By listening to the radio transmissions.
Okay, where would you have been approximately, to the best of your recollection, when you first hear Sergeant Morales call out that he's conducting a traffic stop?
It was about eastbound on like Fremar Place, headed towards, I was almost at 7th Street at that point.
All right, did you, because of how these communications work, did you know approximately where Sergeant Morales was when this traffic stop was supposed to be occurring?
Yes, I did.
All right, was Sergeant Morales alone or was he with anyone?
No, he was by himself.
All right, and so because of that fact, what did you do?
I went ahead and I started heading towards him.
Now, initially, as you're traveling over towards Sergeant Morales' location, what kind of speeds are you going? Are you running with lights? Are you running with sirens? Tell us what kind of urgency you're going towards Sergeant Morales with.
There was no urgency, just normal speed, whatever the speed limit is, maybe 5 over or so.
Nothing about the way that traffic stop was being communicated at the beginning that gave you any concern for anybody's safety?
No, there was not.
All right. What's the next thing you recall hearing after Sergeant Morales is calling out his various locations? What's the next thing you recall hearing?
While I was on 7th Street, I heard him stating that the vehicle was running away from him.
So now does this increase the, I guess, urgency to some extent?
Yes, it does.
All right, and how do you respond in terms of your response to Sergeant Morales' backup?
At that point, I turn on my lights and sirens, and I get on the radio to make a transmission to let them know that I'm on my way.
Because because you got somebody fleeing, now you turn your sirens on?
Yes.
Now what I want to do, if I can, Deputy Detective, I'm going to have you step down. I think I've got, with the court's permission.
Yes, sir.
Let me see. Okay, you're going to be green, and you're going to have a green pen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you use State's Exhibit 8. Yeah, okay. Can you come over here, Clarence, please? Try to stand here so they can see. Can y'all see it from here? Okay. All right, so first of all, I'll ask you State's Exhibit 8. Can you see that, Mr.? State's Exhibit 8, do you recognize this area?
Yes.
What are we looking at? What would you call this area?
This area right here, this is what we call Silver Lake Estates.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to have you hold this. Actually, I think we have another card for him. Yeah, thanks. Hold on to that card, will you please? Sorry. What I want you to do is, we're going to listen to the portion of the dispatch tape, and I want you to tell us basically where you are as we're rolling through the dispatch tape, okay? And what's going to be important is I want to talk about some of the timing of that, all right? Yeah, and what I'll also do, Deputy, are you familiar with the voices that we hear on the dispatch tape?
Yes.
And
Yes,
you had an opportunity to listen to that dispatch?
yes.
Okay. Okay, so 166-1050, can you tell us what that is and who that is?
166, that's Sergeant Morales.
Okay, so on using State's Exhibit 8, I know it's not on here, but show us about where you are when you hear that call.
I would have been further south.
Okay?
Yep. I would have been further south here in this area right here. It would have been a little further down on one of the roads that run east-west.
Okay, and what direction would you be traveling at that point in time?
At that point, I was traveling east.
Okay. So you're traveling towards, I can't see it so good, but what's that long, yeah.
7th Street.
Okay, all right.
Block of Europe on a red Toyota Corolla 7306 Juliet.
Okay, so now he's calling out his location. Do you know where that approximately is because this is your zone?
Yes.
Okay, where is he calling out generally from?
He would have been calling, he said it was Muir.
Right.
Calling out.
Okay. So when you hear this, again, because your job is to respond as backup, where are you thinking you're going to find Sergeant Morales in this traffic stop?
Well, he said, if he says Muir, it became orange.
Okay, hold on a minute. I don't want you to get ahead of yourself. What we just heard was 3200 block of Mura.
Muir. If he says that he's on the 3200 block of Muir, I'm going to assume that he's going to be somewhere
Okay.
in this area.
Okay, so
Judge, I have to admit to that.
Okay, so again, Detective Bennett, you're indicating that Sergeant Morales is saying, he's calling out his location where he anticipates the stop to be in the area of 3200 block of Mira, correct?
Yes.
All right, and so again, indicate on the map where it is you're going to expect to come up on Sergeant Morales in this traffic stop.
I expect to come up on him if he says 3200 block of Mirror, and I expect him to be on Mirror.
Okay. So at that point in time in the transmission, I know it's difficult to recall exactly, but about where would you be on your journey towards Sergeant Morales?
At that time, I had just made the turn onto 7th Street.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, it was, what's the block number? King Orange, 1050.
Okay. So now he's calling out a different location, correct?
Yes.
And it's, what is it?
It said King Orange and Mirror.
Okay, so now are you adjusting in your mind where you think you're going to encounter Sergeant Morales?
Yes, I am.
Where do you anticipate finding Sergeant Morales to back up?
Well, if he says that, then he should be at the intersection, or near the intersection. If not, he might, I'm anticipating that if he's not going to be on, he's going to be close, either on Mirror or he might be on King Orange. He's going to be on either one, but he's going to be close by in this proximity.
Okay. So we know you've now turned on to 7th with the initial reception. This is a few seconds later. Where are you approximately on 7th Street when you hear this updated location?
At that point, I was already getting close to, if I hadn't passed it yet, I was near Rebels Lane, I believe.
Okay. So you are responding. Are you familiar with the area? I guess you know what streets to take to get to where he says he's going to be.
Yes, I do.
Okay. We'll pick it up.
So he's taking off on me. 10-4 correction. We are now north of Naylor.
Okay. You heard this, obviously.
Yes.
And at that point in time, approximately where would you estimate you are in your efforts to get to back up Sergeant Morales?
By that time, I was still on South 7th, but I was like almost at the intersection. I was pretty much at the intersection of Canner. I was very close. Like right when he said Naylor, I was like right there.
Okay. And what he's calling out King Orange. He's at King Orange and Muir initially.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. I understand. Don't worry about it. Yes. So, did you turn on to King Orange?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I didn't mean to, but I apologize.
That's all right.
King Orange. I'm just thinking about how far back I was, but I would have been right here getting ready to turn on King Orange. Right here.
Okay. And when you turn that corner of King Orange, he has already communicated, when you turn west onto King Orange, Sergeant Morales has already indicated that they're heading towards up Naylor, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see any cars when you get out on King Orange? You know what I mean? When you first turned onto King Orange?
I didn't see any cars.
Okay. All right.
North on Naylor. Station's going to be 1031.
Who is that? Do you know?
That would have been Deputy Sarvis.
Okay. And again, This is going in real time, so you're still traveling there, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you recall seeing anything on Naylor that led you to believe that the pursuit had gone up north on Naylor as you're coming down King?
Yes, because I saw some dust. I saw like some of like the red and blue from our lights. I saw it like right at the tail end. I didn't see like his entire car or anything, but it was literally the tail end.
Okay. And so you're heading in that direction?
Yes.
10-4. Foot or in the vehicle? It'll be a red Toyota Corolla. That's how we got shots fired. Well, you. Thank you. 10-4, shots fired, rolling rescue.
Okay. Who's that calling out shots fired?
That was me.
Okay. So let's talk about this, using this map again. You've indicated you're coming down west on King Orange. You're seeing the Gary's lights, or what appear to be blue lights, turning north on Ken, or on Naylor, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what I would like you to do is then walk the jury through what you see, hear, and experience as you turn that corner north on Naylor. All right, come on. All right, I got you. You're right here. What's the first thing you remember, as you can recall today, hearing or seeing?
Yeah. When I got here
Okay?
to the corner of King Orange and Naylor,
Yes, sir.
I heard shots fired.
All right.
I heard a few.
This Naylor, is this a straight shot, this road straight up?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so when you turn that corner, can you see straight down the road?
Yes, I can.
Tell them what you saw when you turned that corner.
When I when I turned the corner, I saw a person.
Sergeant Rouse's car?
Yes, he's running up behind the sergeant's car.
Okay. And the Sergeant Rouse's door open or is it closed, as best you can tell?
I remember his door being open.
All right. And where is the person standing as you're, or what is the person doing as you're approaching north on Naylor?
He's shooting into the sergeant's car.
Okay. So if the door is open, where is he standing in the door of that car?
He's in the.
The door is open? Is he standing outside the door, in the door, around the door?
man shooting Sergeant Morales' car.
And do you see him here in court today?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Point to him. Describe an article of his clothing for the jury.
Sitting right there next to the bald black gentleman. Got on the gray suit, shirt, jacket, gray jacket. It's like a burgundy, pinkish looking tie with mixed colors and a white shirt.
Hair different today?
Oh yes.
Okay. Your Honor, let the record reflect the witness pointed to and described an article of the defendant's clothing.
Yes, sir.
All right. What I'd like you to do for us now, you see this. Does it become apparent to you as you're rolling up? Do you know if you have siren running now?
Yes.
Okay. Does it become apparent to you that the defendant is now aware of your presence on the scene?
At that point, as soon as I turned down, not immediately.
Right? Okay. At about what point in time does he become aware you're rolling up on the scene?
As he's running away from the sergeant's car, and he runs behind Sergeant Morales' car, and I see two males standing, they were adjacent to the red car. And at that point, I saw him running towards that direction, towards the two men standing over there. And then all of a sudden, when he got behind the red car, he stopped and started pointing his gun towards my direction.
Okay. When you say pointing it, do you mean he's holding it up? Describe me, show them what you mean when you say he's pointing it.
He took an aggressive stance that he was pointing the gun, aiming it at my vehicle.
Okay. Now tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, in light of everything you had just seen, what is running through your mind at the moment he turns, the defendant turns his attentions on you with that firearm?
At that point, I thought he was going to try to kill me. I saw he'd already shot into the sergeant's car, so I thought he was just going to kill me. I thought that was it.
And what did you do?
Well, at that point, slammed on my brakes.
Can you tell me, didn't I give you that little card?
Yes.
Oh, good. Will you tell us where here, as best you can recall today, you slammed on your brakes and where you stopped? Stick that thing right in there. Okay. And what did you do?
At that point, I jumped out of my seat, opened my door, and I unholstered my weapon to engage him.
And as you engaged him, did you fire your weapon?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Tell us what the defendant is doing now as you're exiting your car and putting your weapon on him. How is he reacting?
As I'm aiming down at him, he's aiming down at me.
Okay. And how's he moving? Can you show us how he's moving?
He was...
Come out here. Oh, that's okay. Give you a little room so you don't have to knock that over, but we're done with that. So go ahead, and if I'm a distance down and I'm you, okay, obviously this is not going to...
And then he dropped a little lower.
Okay.
And then at some point, he looked like he might have lost his balance, and then he was down low, and then he hit the ground. And at which point,
Okay.
I fired another round.
Okay. So he actually went down to the ground. You fired another round. Did you think you'd hit him at that time?
Yes, I did.
Did you hit him?
No, I did not.
Okay. What did he do after he went to the ground?
After he went to the ground, he gathered himself, and he started running around the red car and headed towards the driver's side of the red car.